Okay, so now actually say your name, spell it, and if you have like a title or description that you like.
Okay, cool. So I'm Melanie Jay, and I spell it Melanie, and then J as in Jay. And I'm a singer-songwriter and an artist based in Los Angeles.
So how did you get started in music?
I got started in music kind of in multiple ways. So the first way is my family's like super into music. Like my dad always just was singing around the house, and so I was kind of born into it. And then when it came to songwriting, I had like a teacher come up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so good. You should songwrite." And I was like, "Sure." I didn't even like know you could do that. I didn't even know you could songwrite. I was like, "Oh, you just do covers." So then I did. I started songwriting, and then it ended up being like my life after that. I was like, this is my favorite thing ever.
So you talked about songwriting, and how that's your new thing.
My thing.
So where do you find inspiration for your lyrics and like songwriting? Is it like a wake up in the middle of the night kind of thing, or is it like I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna try and write, or like where do you find inspiration, and then what's that process like?
Totally. So with inspiration, especially with my music, I really like to focus on like everyday things. I don't like only write love songs, so I kind of like sing about friendships and family relationships and just like things that happen around me. And then as for like the actual process of it, it kind of depends. I never really have like a set thing that I do, but a lot of the time in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and be like, oh my God, and then I like have a whole paragraph in the morning. Or sometimes when I pick up an instrument and just play a few chords, then I can try kind of like improv off of that and find some stuff that way. It kind of depends. For me, I kind of like to do all of them because you kind of get different songs through each one that you do. So yeah.
So do you like, well, I guess it kind of ties into that, but do you like you know what, I want to write a song about and then
yeah.
Or is it kind of just like literally whatever your hand writes?
Totally, yeah. I think it's a little bit of a mix, because like sometimes it'll be like, remember that one moment when I did blank, and then I'll be like, I want to kind of like play off of that. And then other times, like when I'm like, especially in like the middle of the night when I'm writing, like it's just kind of like things just happen, or when I'm like improving, it's kind of like, oh, what was that? Oh, I like that, and then you kind of play off that idea. Yeah, so or at least that is for me.
That is literally like without this, I've always wondered how people like songwrite. I don't understand.
I know, it is really weird because it just comes out of nowhere.
So who's your favorite musical artist at the moment and or of all time?
My favorite question.
Really?
I like really love, like, I mean, it's hard to narrow it down, but like, I think of all time, well, there's a few, but like definitely Queen, Freddie Mercury, Queen, like they're like huge inspirations for me. And growing up, like Elvis was a huge one. Yeah. And then like as of now, I'm like completely in love with Harry Styles. Like I love his writing. I also like, there's this girl named Ash, and she's really cool. And there's this band called Lawrence, and I'm completely in love with them too. They're like a brother-sister duo, and I saw them in concert, and I was like, oh, wow.
Like a favorite like moment, like something like stuck out to you, like either when you were like performing or like an aha moment.
Yeah.
Is there any moment in like your music career so far where you're like, I will remember that forever? Or
that's such a cool question.
Or is it kind of just all like the experience together?
I think when I finished my first single with my brother and we were both like, wow, we're really proud of this, that was a kind of big moment. We were like, oh my God, we did it. And like we felt really excited and proud of it. And I remember like literally screaming and like jumping off the bed because we do home recording. So we were just like super excited, and that was a really cool moment. And then I think actually when that single came out, that was a huge thing for me too, because I got feedback from people, and hearing everyone's feedback was like really crazy and surreal, and it felt like, oh wow, I'm doing something cool and like good because people are liking it, and I got a really cool response from that. So I think that was kind of like a oh my gosh, this is real. Like,
this is what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What about being like an up and coming singer-songwriter artist? Has like, what's been your biggest challenge so far? And like, either have you overcome it yet, and how?
Totally.
Or like, how do you work towards overcoming that?
Right. I think the biggest one for me, like, as I am like pretty new to everything, and also I don't have family in the industry, so networking has been a big one. When I started, because I kind of started making music like 2 years ago, and I wanted to release it 2 years ago, but it wasn't what I wanted. So I think a big thing that I had to kind of like jump over was finding a producer, which is funny because now I have my brother, but at the time that wasn't really an option. So it was like constantly trying out new producers, and where do you find producers? And like that was huge because it was like, how do I even start? Like, I really want to do this, but like, where do I find these people? So I just kind of like was like, I just need to do it. Like, I just need to start doing something. And so I found like my guitar teacher did like producing. So I did producing with him for a little while, and I like didn't like it, but I was at least doing something. So yeah, I'm happy I kind of like jumped that hurdle. And every once in a while I still have to kind of jump it. So it comes back, but it's also not as bad as it was like when I first started out, because I have more of like a body of work now.
Nowhere to look.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a big one. And yeah, I think that's been the main one so far.
I feel like that's gotta be so hard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so jealous of people that like knew someone, or exactly.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. So do you play any instruments, and which ones do you play?
I play guitar, piano, voice, and a little bit of violin.
Is there any instruments that you want to learn, or you're in the process of learning?
I would love to learn drums right now. I would love to just like sit down at a drum set and be like, I
feel like it's so exhilarating.
Right? Exactly. Like, looks so cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm jealous of that. You try and like write a message in there, or is it kind of just, I'm asking like 3 different questions, like.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, a lot of the music that I write is like stuff that I'm personally going through, so it's kind of like a, hey, you're not alone, but also I feel really alone in this thing, so I hope you feel like you relate to this. That's like a big one, but I think the main thing is like, since I try to do multi-genre and I don't like try to put myself in a certain genre, I feel like I'm trying to make sure people understand and know that they don't have to be put under a label, and they don't have to be put in a genre or whatever it is. Like, you can be multiple things, and you can explore other genres, but not even genres as in music, but just like in life. You can be multiple people, and you can wear whatever you want, whether it be girly one day and edgy the other day. Like, it doesn't matter. And I think that's like kind of the overall like little message. So yeah.
Dude, drop the mic. It's like looking into the future, like where what's your end goal, kind of like, do you know your end goal, or you kind of just, are you working towards like long term, short term, like what's your future?
I don't know, making music that feels timeless and that can last forever and have people relate to it forever, because it's just normal human feelings. So I think that's the biggest goal right there. Is like, just make sure people feel connected, because I feel like that's what music can do for people. And doing like live shows with people that would like know my music would be like out of this world. I think that would be the most like gratifying thing ever. Yeah.
Do you have like a short term, like where you're like, by the end of this year, by when I'm
I wanted to do a festival this year. And then they all got canceled. Right. But so I think doing a festival was a big one that I really want to do in the next few years. And also, actually, my biggest one right now is my EP, because I've been working on it for a while. So like, just kind of getting that all together. And I'm releasing my first music video this year, so it's so exciting. But yeah, they're like definitely big milestones in like my career that I'm like really excited for. So
Oh, this is like a random question. I don't know if it relates at all.
Love it.
Like in your Instagram bio, I saw that you have a link to St. Baldrick. Is that how you say it?
Yes. So I have a family, well, kind of like a close family friend, and he went through childhood cancer when he was 3. So we were really close with them, and we like saw how hard it hit them, and ever since then he's always shaved his head at this event called St. Baldrick's, and it's like it's basically a childhood cancer research like awareness kind of place. So people shave their heads for awareness, and then also you can donate money to whoever's shaving their head, and all that money goes to childhood cancer research. And so my little brother has been doing it for now 10 years. I know, I can't believe it, and he has like really nice hair, so I'm always like, no, don't go, but also like, good job, like, good for you. But yeah, so that's an event that we've always, and I've volunteered there a few times, and it's a really cool organization that I like.
Okay, wait, we're gonna bring it way back.
Fantastic.
So like, I want to hear about like I know you talked about like the process of like getting singles out and like your music out and stuff, but like your first single was "Wannabe," right?
Yes.
Right.
That was the first one on all platforms. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So like, where did you get your inspiration from to write that song? I know you said you talk about like
For sure.
what you're going through and
Yeah.
stuff. But like how old were you, and like what year did that come like officially?
Totally. I think I wrote that song when I was 16. And then that like later that year it's actually a funny story. I actually didn't like the song very much. But then my brother was like, just give us a song. We'll like kind of plug it into here, see if it sounds good. And then it sounded great. And we were like, okay, I guess we'll run with this. And then it became like my favorite song. I released that when I was like, I think I was 17 when I released it. So there was like a lot of gaps and bridges in between there. But I think I was way, way young. And I'm trying to remember exactly when I wrote it, because usually I can like kind of pinpoint what time it was and stuff. It was probably like, I actually do remember. So I had my uke, and I found like 4 chords that I really liked. It was like 12 a.m. and I was like, cool. And actually the lyrics are completely different than what ended up in the song. It went like, there was something at the end. I wish I could remember what it was. But yeah, there was like it's completely different than actually what I wrote. And we changed all the lyrics on the way. But yeah, so it was like I was really young when I wrote it, and then it was like kind of okay when we started producing it, and then when it like started producing, I was like, okay, I really like this.
So you mentioned that you're hopefully coming out with your EP soon.
Yes.
Tell the fans.
Tell the fans
what you got coming up, like what's in store for you.
Totally.
In the near future.
Yeah. So I have 2 singles coming out in the next few months. Yeah, I'm so excited. And they're both like really different than what I've ever released. The one is like really out there, and I'm like kind of shocked that I'm like ever putting it out anywhere, because I've actually been working on that song for exactly a year now. So it's been through a lot of phases, and I was just so happy when we like finally figured out what we wanted. But so we're working on the singles. They're gonna be out soon, and then I have my music video coming out, which I'm working on really hard. I've been working on that for a few months too, and I'm working with a really cool videographer, so I'm really excited about that. And then my EP's coming out probably like in the summer around, or a little later than the summer. And that's going to be really cool, because it's my first time putting out like a real EP, being like, here's 4 to 5 songs.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, me too.
So you have like very awesome fashion sense.
Thank you.
So like, is there, like, I know like when I go back and I look at like what I used to wear, but like I know for me, kind of just like whatever I like I wear or whatever.
Totally.
But is there anything where you're like that inspires you with like your fashion, or like are you interested in fashion, or kind of just do you match it to your music? Like what is that?
Totally.
How does fashion play into like who you are and like what you want from your music? Like, or is there a correlation?
Oh, for sure. I think there's a huge correlation. I'm like really into fashion. I'm completely in love with like the way that clothes can make you feel, especially when I'm doing music videos and stuff and like promotional photos. I have like I'm a very visual person, so I find like colors and that stuff to be like really vivid, and so when it comes to those kinds of things, like I'm very precise and picky on what I want. But then like in everyday life, I'm just kind of like, I'll wear whatever I want. Yeah.
Is there anything else like I missed or?
You like covered so much.
I know.
It's so good.
Like, I had so many questions already. And especially, like, you're so young. You're 19? 18?
It just turned 18.
It just turned 18.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
You're so young. Like,
yeah.
You're already, like, coming this far. It's, like, that's
totally.
awesome. Like, you're
Thank
totally
you.
on the right track.
Thank you.
So, I'm, like...
It means a lot. Because sometimes you'll just sit down and be like, are you... am I what am I doing? Like, you know?
Sure, like, there's probably, like, times where you're, like...
Totally.
Like... I mean, like anyone in any field.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You're second guessing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But
Stuff.
talk a lot.
Same. I talked a lot.
It's so good. I needed so much, and this is gonna be so hard to put into 3 minutes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put all of it in there.
You like put on 2 times speed.
Like,
sound like chipmunks.
She talks really fast.
Please.
What do you use to like? Oh, I know you have like videographers. So do they handle all of like your editing? And stuff?
I actually edit all my own stuff. So I do my own graphic design and I do my own editing. And I do, if I could direct it, I would, you know. If I could hold the camera and perform, I probably would do that too. Because I can't trust people to do their job.
Dude, I don't. Draw from like your YouTube videos too, but like it kind of didn't work out.
Oh yeah, YouTube videos. Hey.
I know.
You were such like a OG person too. Like I remember like when I did my YouTube channel, like for real, you were like, you uploaded a new video, and I was like, oh my god,
dude, I remember.
someone watched my stuff.
Dude, when you released like your playlist video when you were like in nature.
Oh yeah. Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, dude, this is gonna
A
blow
bop.
up.
And then it didn't.
I'm like, I am loving it.
I love it.
Dude, yes, I'm day 1 subscriber.
Yes.